Hi everyone, this is Aaron and I'm here today with Pastor Matt Powell. Pastor Matt, we received an anonymous question via Tumblr and this person wants to know, is it wrong or sinful to feel accomplished about something you've achieved? A small example would be studying hard for an exam and receiving an A. Is it sinful to tell myself, good job, the studying really paid off? I understand that all glory should be given to God because He enables us, but is it wrong to feel good about yourself?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with feeling accomplished for something that you achieved, particularly if you worked hard for it. Again, we're reminded in Colossians chapter 3 that whatever you do heartily. You do as for the Lord. And obviously, within the context of that passage, he's speaking to slaves, those who work hard or those who are expected to work hard. And so you take that principle and you apply it in terms of our daily lives. God has called every single one of us to be a certain way or to work in a certain capacity. For those of you who are students, God has called you to be a student now. And what he calls you to do is to work hardly as for the Lord and not for men. I think within that context, by working hard, there is room to be able to enjoy your accomplishments. I think that's part of just the joys of working for God and doing excellently is that he allows us to enjoy some of these effects. I think what we want to caution ourselves against is ultimately where we put our identity. If your identity is only in how well you do, well, then that becomes idolatry because then you're all about yourself. You're all about who you are, who you think you should be. And so that's where the fine line really comes to play, whether or not you are doing these things as for yourself and not for God. And again, there's nothing wrong with feeling accomplished for what you've done. However, when you allow that to be your identity, when that becomes your idol, then it becomes an issue of sinfulness. And so that's really what it comes down to. It comes down to our heart. And just really by way of application, you know whether a person puts their identity in God versus their accomplishments just by how they respond. For example, if they do well, they give thanks to God immediately. At the same time, if they do poorly, they're not going to beat themselves up for it unless they just didn't study. But they're just going to trust in God's goodness and God's grace and just know that, in the end, they tried their best. So it's not wrong to feel good about yourself, especially if you know that you've done your best for God.
Thanks, Pastor Matt, and thank you everyone for listening. I do see all of your questions in our inbox, and we will be answering them over the next few weeks. If you see me at church, you can ask me your questions in person, and I will be sure they make it into an episode of Unicoi Questions. The great thing about Tumblr is that you can ask your questions anonymously, so feel free to ask us all of your questions or check out our archive at unicoiquestions.tumblr.com. Thanks, see you soon.